I was such a little fatty as a kid that anytime those sweet, delicious King Hawaiian rolls came into the house, I would take out every roll, all 12 of them, take a bite, and then put them back in the package just so I could not share with anybody else. Now I look back at this behavior and I think, why was I so food focused? I mean, I was obviously not malnourished. I mean, I was 200 pounds by the 8th grade. But there's something else telling me to eat more and to eat a whole lot more often than everybody else that I knew. And as it turns out, I actually have the fat gene. And not just one, I have both of the fat genes that are the primary drivers of obesity. Yet, I've still been able to lose over 100 pounds to achieve a six-pack and be able to keep off all the weight. So in this video, I'm going to break down what the fat gene is, why it makes you hungrier, eat more often, and be very food focused, and also 4 steps for you to overcome it and actually work with your body to lose weight instead of trying to fight against it like traditional diet methods. Let's talk about the first fat gene, and that is the MC4R deficiency. MC4R is a part of your melanocortin hormonal system, which controls your appetite, energy expenditure, skin color, and sexual desire. MC4R deficient people also have an increase in lean mass and increased linear growth in childhood. As such, people can appear big boned. So how does this play in with fat loss? Well, MC4R induces something called hyperphagia, or the extreme unsatisfied desire to consume food. And on top of that, it also reduces energy expenditure, telling your brain that, hey, we don't need to move too often, and you can see how this is going to be pretty problematic. We have a lot of calories that we're eating due to that hyperphagia, and we also have the imbalance telling us that, hey, we don't need to move as much to burn up all the extra fuel that we have. And the reason for that is really due to an imbalance with leptin, one of the hunger hormones. Now, the other fat gene is called FTO. And the imbalance here that drives obesity is that FTO gets overexpressed, causing an altered chemical makeup in your RNA around ghrelin, the other hunger hormone that tells us, hey, we are hungry and ready to eat. Now, it's not just the fact that you have more ghrelin than a typical person, but also your brain has a different response to seeing food with the amount of ghrelin that is released. So individuals with 2 copies of the obesity risk FTO variant are biologically programmed to eat more. Not only do these people have higher ghrelin levels and therefore feel hungrier, their brains respond differently to ghrelin and to pictures of food. It's a double hit. So to set them both up, your body is programmed to eat more and to move less. And really, the truth is you should have picked better parents, but I'm going to tell you how to overcome that if you are not blessed genetically like me. Now, I want to say that weight loss is hard to achieve in MC4R deficiency as people are often less responsive to diet and exercise. One reason may be that the normal physiological response to caloric restriction requires an intact leptin melanocortin system. So what this means is that any diet model that puts you into a model of scarcity, of restriction, and saying that we need to eat less is not going to work for you. And that is because it is the direct opposite of what our brain is always going to be telling us what to do. So instead, we need to move into a model of abundance, and we need to signal the right way in our brain that food is not scarce and that we are going to be okay if we do miss a meal. Now, there are 4 ways that you can signal abundance within your body. And the first one is sunlight or UV exposure. MC4R is a melanocortin, and melanin is the thing that has that skin pigmentation within you, and this system gets activated whenever you get sunlight. I know for me in personal experience, anytime I get more sun, my appetite is not as great and I move more, and overall I'm just happier and ready to make better decisions with my food. So next, we want to have a high protein whole foods based diet. If we eat all of whole foods and we have exclusively whole foods on our plate, we can move away from strict calorie counting and calorie restriction. If we have whole foods and we have the right system and blueprint around our meals, we can feel as if we're eating as much as we want, even though we are still inducing this calorie deficit. And on top of that, the calories that you do consume are going to help you to stop eating because they are going to have a better physiological response within your body on leptin and ghrelin. So when you eat that piece of good beef and eggs, it's going to have a different effect than if you did have this prepackaged lean cuisine meal. Way different response in your body and your leptin and ghrelin. And this all comes from the fact that you need to feel as if food is abundant, because if you have one bad day and you're counting calories and you're on a very strict calorie deficit, you are going to binge and you're going to have a ton of food and you're going to reset a lot of progress that you gained. On top of that, if you put yourself in this model of scarcity, there's no way that you can sustain this weight loss forever and for years on end. The third thing you can do is use targeted supplementation. And again, I'm very pro supplementation. I think with the environment we're dealing with today, then we should utilize supplements in order to combat some of those things and, level the playing board. First, one is Melanotan 1 and Melanotan 2. Not only do these make you tan, which is what most people use them for, they also are going to make you have better appetite regulation and move more. Next is to use a GLP-1 agonist, such as semaglutide, tirzepatide, or something called Ozempic. And I think that this is going to be very beneficial if you have a ton of weight to lose. Like if you are 100 pounds overweight and you need something to help you to lose weight and get off that stool, then this is the right tool for you. Finally is exercise and strength training. And exercise completely abolishes the fat gene. And remember, the MC4R deficient people also have an increase in lean mass. And on top of that, the fact that you have more lean mass naturally, if you also have the FTO variant, you also are going to have a better free testosterone status. So if you're not strength training, you need to get on a program immediately. I think this is the best thing for anybody. The fact that you can build more muscle, you'll look better, you can boost your metabolism, meaning you can eat more food without fat gain. It is sort of a no-brainer. And if you don't have a program or you're not sure where to start, you can go down below and find a program that I have available. So there you have it. And this is exactly how I beat my fat genes. So if you are somebody who has a crazy appetite as well, and you feel as if you can eat everything, let me know now down below and find out if there's been any hacks or anything that you've done to combat that hunger. So that is all I have for today, and I'll see you in the next video.